But when we give them a grade, and again, the child, for whatever reason, didn't do their best, that doesn't necessarily mean that they have an accurate representation of that grade that they have. So it makes sense to me if a child 2 weeks later says, you know what, I want to try this again, or, I've done some tutoring or whatever it is. My life situation is better. I want to take this opportunity to try again. To me, that makes more sense. Why do you think that's not a concept that a lot of us are doing? Like, why is that not a thing, I guess, in most schools?
I think it comes down to the factory model of how our schools were built. And when you think about just the number of kids that a teacher has in his or her classroom and the amount of work it takes every day. I founded these schools. I am the CEO of these schools, but I will tell you, being a teacher for 9 years was harder than that. It's the hardest job I've ever done. And so I think the grammar or rigid sort of traditional structure of school is easier to go through because nobody has time to question it or to change it while we are still educating kids. And that's sad to me, which is the opportunity that I had to open new schools and to start again and to rethink some of how the structure of that needs to be. Like, that's been a privilege of mine, not everybody gets. And this one concept I think is so incredibly important to that self-image of student. And again, teacher has to be willing to do that. So I give teachers a lot of credit, especially our teachers, for being willing.
Shout out to the educators that are able to give children another chance. That's at the end of the day, shout out to those who are able to do that. I know some teachers will do extra credit assignments. And I know I had a guest on not too long ago where he talks about where extra credits can often be, Camp. Camp was my guest not too long ago. And he talked about how extra credit sometimes can be inequitable because maybe one teacher gives the extra credit, the other teacher does not. Same class, but one has an opportunity. One class set of roster has, extra chances, while the other class does not have those extra chances just because the teacher isn't willing to do the same type of extra credit, which kind of leads me to my next question. Is this your model? Is it school-wide? Meaning, like, if you have multiple English teachers, are they all providing those opportunities for students to retake a test or, get that extra support? Is that something that's pretty standard professed throughout the school?
Yes, we have middle school and high school. So our middle schoolers call it the power of yet. And they have a little bit of a different structure than our high schoolers, who call it multiple opportunities for mastery, or MOM, they call it. And so, but it's the same thing. Kids have to put in a request or an appeal to be able to take something again, be able to articulate what's going to be different this time and why. Then they're given an opportunity to take that test again.